Hi there, welcome to Storytime with Miss Andrea, reading on behalf of the Loveland Public Library. As always, before we read stories, we have to get our wiggles out. Can you stand up for me, please? I wiggle my fingers. I wiggle my toes. I wiggle my ears. And I wiggle my nose. I wiggle my shoulders. I wiggle my chin. Ma, 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 ma. I stretch my arms wide and I pull them back in. I wiggle my elbows. I wiggle my knees. I hop like a bunny. And I smile and say, cheese. Now I have no more wiggles left in me, and I'll sit on the floor as still as can be. Fantastic. We're going to read one of my favorite books today. This is by Nina Cruz, and it's called The Neighborhood Mother Goose. And we might know Mother Goose rhymes, but do we know why we're still saying them and why they're still important? Because Mother Goose rhymes teach us, nursery rhymes teach us the cadence or the rhythm of the language that we're speaking. So all languages have their own nursery rhymes, and they all follow the same pattern of language as the language that they're in. It's pretty fun. This is a modern, updated version of some Mother Goose rhymes, and that's why it's my favorite. The Neighborhood Mother Goose. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Do you see the cat with the fiddle? And the cow jumped over the moon, and the little dog laughed, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Jack, be nimble. Jack, be quick. Jack, jump over the candlestick. To market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity jig. To market, to buy a fat hog. Home again, jiggity jog. To market, to buy a plum bun. Home again, market is done. What's in his shopping bag? Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider who sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. And what does this itsy bitsy spider say? The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again. There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very, very good, but when she was bad, she was horrid. What's she doing? She's cutting her Barbie's hair. Shouldn't do that. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. She shall have music wherever she goes. What are they riding? Yeah, they're riding a merry-go-round. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, who had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread. She scolded them soundly and sent them to bed. All right, this one's gonna be tough. Are you ready? Let's see if I can do this. Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Not the best I've ever done. Wee Willie Winky runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying at the lock. Are the children all in bed? For now it's 8 o'clock. The end. So those are just some of the nursery rhymes in here. You can check this book out at your Loveland Library. Let's go ahead and stand up because that was a long time to sit. Sometimes I am tall, and sometimes I am small. Sometimes I am very, very tall, and sometimes I am very, very small. Sometimes tall, sometimes small. But see how I am now. Fantastic. Let's get our clapping hands out. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as high as we can. Goodbye! Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as slow as we can. Slow as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as fast as we can. Bye, 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 bye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as slow as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as quiet as we can. Goodbye. For those who might want it, bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as loud as we can. Goodbye! Thank you so much for coming to Storytime today.